A long time, it's taken many years, but you know what, guys? Daisuke Ishiwatari and his team at Arc System Works has finally succeeded. So, the original Guilty Gear came out in like 1998, and ever since its inception, this series has been niche, man. And me personally, I'm almost 30 now, and I think the first time I played Guilty Gear, I want to say it was like 2005, 2006, or something like this. And I think I just found the game in a local arcade that was like right by my house. They had a copy. They had one of those cabinet machines of Guilty Gear XX or X2. It might have been called. Can't even remember which version it was. Guilty Gear XX: The Midnight Carnival, and I just remembered like seeing this game and like looking at the graphics and getting into the music and then I ended up looking up some of the music, listening to like Holy Orders and all kinds of stuff like that. And I just was like, man, this game Guilty Gear is kind of fucking ill. So and the thing is, for me as a young kid back then, it was a lonely experience being a fan of this game. It was a lonely experience because a couple of my friends tried to play it with me, but generally speaking, there was just not that many people playing this game. And I remember thinking to myself, this game has such crazy characters, it has such like dynamic fucking gameplay, it has such great graphics, it has such incredibly composed music. It's just obvious that like an enormous ton of work went into making these games, these Guilty Gear games. And it just never seemed like the game popped off. It never gained that big popularity. It never had like a mainstream following. It was always the niche game. So here's the thing with Guilty Gear Strive. With Guilty Gear Strive, we have a lot of people who are older players of the series complaining that they've changed Gatlings. The game is slower now. The game has too much high damage. The movement feels different. There's a lot of changes to Guilty Gear Strive. But I don't know. The way I'm seeing it is basically Daisuke is one here. He's drastically changed what the game is, and at the same time, the music is still awesome. The graphics are better than they've ever been. The characters look better than they've ever looked before. And it still has that spirit and soul of Guilty Gear. So all I want to say is for me as a fan of this series for so long, for like 15 years now, to see the game finally like really break through, like to be at the top of the Steam charts, to have broken the all-time concurrent players for Mortal Kombat 11. Like it really does seem like, and you got to understand the last Guilty Gear game, Xrd, I think even the sign version, the all-time concurrent players was like 1,900 players or so. So it never really broke past 2,000 concurrent players. And right now, today, the second day of Guilty Gear Strive being out, there's 20,000 people plus, close to 30,000 people playing the game just on Steam alone. And it's fucking crazy. This is by far the biggest success Daisuke and his team have ever had. And so, look, I'm just going to say this. If Guilty Gear Strive is not the game for you, I get it. It's very different from the old games. They've changed a lot of things. It is not the same as Guilty Gear X and Core Plus R. It's not the same as Xrd. It's just not. It's a very different sort of game. And so if this isn't the game for you, if you don't enjoy the game, I understand where you're coming from. All I can say to you is that you can always play the old games. They have Plus R has rollback now. Maybe they'll add rollback to Xrd. I think that would be fucking dope if they finally did that. That would be great. And, that's all cool and everything, man. But, like, for me personally, like, even if you don't like the game, I feel like you could at least be happy that Daisuke has finally, after a lifetime of being like a one-man army, pouring his soul into this game series, pouring his soul into fucking Guilty Gear, giving this series everything he fucking has as an artist, as a game creator, as a musician, as a writer. Guilty Gear as a fucking franchise is like the heart and soul of Daisuke Ishiwatari and his team. And so for me personally, I know this might not be the game for everyone. I know there are some people who are just never going to enjoy Strive. And that's okay, but like me personally, I'm just so glad to see Daisuke and his team succeed, man. Because if anybody deserves the fucking success at this point, it's that guy, man. It's about fucking time that Daisuke and Team Red and Arc System Works had this kind of success with Guilty Gear. It was time people realized how fucking dope Guilty Gear is. And so I'm personally loving the fuck out of the game myself. Like I don't know how you personally feel about the game if you've played it. I personally fucking love it. I think for me personally, the older Guilty Gear games, as much as I loved it, it just felt like a lot of the time, especially if you play against really good players, the game would turn into you get like a couple chances to hit your opponent, and if you don't start comboing the shit out of them, or if you drop your combo, you're fucked against a particularly good player. They'll just combo you all across the screen and 20 beat combos. So, I think really what the game devs were trying to do with this was trying to like move away from that, like, the 20, 30 hit combos and like your whole health bar getting comboed the fuck away, and like newer players being like, okay, I'm just sitting here with the controller getting fucking comboed. This isn't that fun for me. And I think they were just trying to make it a little bit different so that it plays more similar to, say, Street Fighter or Tekken. Or Tekken, I mean that in terms of like the rounds being fast. But, it's Guilty Gear. It still is Guilty Gear. To anybody who's saying this isn't a Guilty Gear game, no. This totally is a Guilty Gear game. It's just different from XX, Plus R, and Exert. It's just different. And if you don't enjoy it, you don't enjoy it. I understand if the older games are more for you, stick with the older games. I get it. I totally get it. All I'm saying is, man, I'm just so happy for Daisuke and his team. I'm just so happy for the Guilty Gear franchise to finally have this level of success. And I can't wait to pour hundreds of fucking hours into Strive, man. I'm already playing this game like it's crack. I already can't stop playing it. It's just so nice, man. Like nobody in, like the thing with Exerd, man, as much as I like the game, it's like you go online and try to play ranked. There's no one ever playing ranked. Sometimes you have to go in these player lobbies. It takes a while to find a match. It gets hard to motivate yourself to play the game when just finding a match becomes difficult and takes time and wears your patience a little bit. With this game, it's like you start looking for a match, and okay, there are some network problems at times, but most of the time I find you wait like 10 or so seconds, match found, match started, you're good to go. Like generally I've not had to wait more than like a minute to find a match. So that's pretty fucking dope, and it's like a steady stream of like different players, different characters, variety, man. This is what happens when a fighting game gets a solid volume of players, like over 1,000 people playing a day. And obviously this is like the first week, the first month. Yeah, there's probably going to be a big drop off, but it's pretty fucking cool that I can literally just play this game like even in the middle of the night and just find a steady stream of matches easily. And I think honestly, this is my personal prediction. I think a lot of people are gonna find this game more fun than the previous games. Like, yeah, I know there's a very vocal group of people who are veterans of the older games and they strongly prefer the older games, and that's okay. But I think this new audience coming into the game and maybe some returning veterans who are giving Strive a chance are gonna say, I really enjoy playing Strive. This game's really fun for me. And they're gonna keep playing it, and they're gonna tell people they know, hey man, you gotta try this game. It's like fucking crack. It's like fighting game crack, bro. You should try it. And then their friends will try it and they'll be like, holy fuck, this is really addictive. Maybe they'll play a couple rounds at their friend's house or something, and they'll realize this is something they could get into. And I think Strive has a very healthy life ahead of it. I think Strive, they're gonna have a couple seasons of DLC. I think we already have the DLC characters leaked. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who wants it to be a surprise, but you could very easily look up who the DLC characters for Strive are going to be. So yeah, man, I'm just happy, man. We're here on opening weekend for launch weekend, I should say, for Guilty Gear Strive, and I'm just, as a long-time fan of this series, I just gotta say, it just feels so good. Like, I'm not even gonna gloat like I was on this game before you, or I was playing this game longer than you, or something like, bro, I don't even care to do that shit. All I want to say is congratulations to Daisuke and his team for finally getting the success they fucking deserve, man. They deserve the success, man. Daisuke has poured his soul into this series. It is about fucking time these guys got a nice return on their investment of work and their whole career spent working on Guilty Gear. It is about fucking time that Guilty Gear became a household name. It's about goddamn time. I'm happy the game is a success, and I don't want this video to go on forever, so I'm just gonna end it there. Guys, check out Strive if you haven't already. If you're playing the game, let me know how you feel about it. I think the game's fucking dope. Yeah, it has some problems with the lobbies and the network, the connecting to or communicating with server thing. You know, I don't know what's going on there. It definitely, if you're playing the game in 4K, I'm playing the game on my PC that's overpowered as fuck. I got like an overclocked i9. I have an RTX 3090, and I'm still having this problem playing the game at 4K where you get that hard counter and the game really slows down for a second and then speeds back up. So it's kind of a weird glitch with like the whole big full screen counter thing, but and it only happens sometimes with the big hard counters. So I'm not sure. Hopefully they can find a fix for that. Honestly, I might suggest that they try to integrate NVIDIA DLSS or Fidelity FX into this game somehow. Some sort of dynamic resolution solution might be the best fix for that, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, I'm Mike Muhammad. I'm loving the shit out of Guilty Gear Strive. I might even leave my Steam account in the bottom. You guys could add me and play some matches with me. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Guilty Gear Strive has taken off. All-time 30K concurrent players on opening day and 20,000 plus players during the weekend. It's a pretty good launch, guys. So I'm just happy for Daisuke and his team. Congratulations, Team Red, and Arc System Works. I'm out.